Ladies and recipients, Sir MarcusBrowne.
I'm Alexa Layton. I'm for Foxbury Street, and I'm here with MarcusBrowne.
What's going on?
Hailing out of Staten Island. Just went pro, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and in your pro career, you are undefeated, 5-0.
5-0, 5-0.
All right, well, since you're undefeated, does that add any pressure to you when you're going into your fights?
At the end of the day, me as a fighter, I always want to protect my own, especially coming up now as a professional. That's the most important thing, is protecting your own. So it's not really no pressure, especially if you work hard. Just put the time in, and you grind, and make the fight easy, but there's no pressure. I mean, I just have fun with it.
Okay. So when did you start boxing?
I walked in here in around maybe August of 2003 when I was 13, and well, 12 going on 13, and I've been here ever since. Throughout the ages, I collected a bunch of titles, but I'm still here.
So when did you realize that, like, I'm actually good at this, like, I can do this? When did you realize it was your career path?
When I went to the Junior Olympic Nationals, a quick story, I got disqualified. So I got disqualified in the quarterfinals. So then basically the next month after that was the ringside nationals, and I actually beat the kid that won the Junior Olympics and the kid that he beat in the finals. So basically that just showed me that I was really #1 in the country, but I wasn't really #1 because I got disqualified in the Junior Olympic Nationals. But I knew where I was at since I beat the best kid in the nation, and it was on from there. After that, I mean, I just dedicated my life to boxing.
Is there anybody in boxing that you look up to?
Anybody in boxing? Well, of course, there's the creme de la creme, Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he's doing what he got to do. But then, of course, there's guys like Bernard Hopkins. There's guys like Andre Ward. There's guys like, Marvin Hagler. I mean, these are guys that are doing good inside the ring and outside the ring. And that's who I try to mold myself after, because I just don't want to be someone that's known for doing great in the ring, but then outside the ring is trouble and a head case. You feel me?
Yeah. So what has been the biggest hurdle you've had to overcome in your career?
The biggest hurdle. I've had a couple hurdles. That's why I am who I am, and I'm in a space that I'm in. I've had a couple hurdles. I mean, of course, in New York City, the biggest tournament is the Golden Gloves. I mean, the New York City Golden Gloves is bigger than any other city's Golden Gloves. You feel me? Because we get national TV time and all that stuff. So, I won in 2008. In 2009, I was, supposed to be the favorite to win. But they brought a kid over from Sweden that went to the 2008 Olympics. He beat me that year, but there was so much hype going into it. But he didn't really beat me because I thought the referee played a little bit too much of a part in the fight. But at the end of the day, I lost. I lost.
All right. So what was your experience like in the Olympics?
The experience was a great experience. Of course, being around LeBron James and freaking Kobe Bryant, walking past them in the lunchroom, and Usain Bolt and all those guys, being around, greatness. It just shows you what,
Did you get to talk to them?
Not necessarily, I said what's up and this is that and third, but you don't want to hold you can't hold 5 minutes of, LeBron's time up if you're not really talking money, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it was a great experience to be around those great athletes, because it just showed me where I was at, as an athlete, and especially represent my country was a beautiful thing. So the Olympic experience was great.
Okay. Now you're Trinidadian and Liberian.
Yes.
Which culture is more dominant in your family?
I'm from Park Hill, so my mom is African, and at the end of the day, my mom is Liberian. So and my mom, I've been with my mom for my whole life. So of course, my Liberian side is the most dominant side. But at the end of the day, I love my Trinidadian family, my Trinidadian side of the family.
Do you go to Trinidad often?
No, unfortunately not, but I will make it my business to go to Trinidad. I spoke to my grandfather about it, and we set that up. But, I mean, I love both sides, and I'm here repping for both because, you know, in boxing, we don't even have, I mean, I don't know no Trinidadian boxers that's doing their thing, and I don't know no Liberian boxers that's doing their thing.
Yeah, you gotta represent for the Caribbean.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I got both countries on my back as long as with the United States, and I'm going to, you know, rep to the full.
Okay. So where do you see yourself like 5 years from now?
Shit, 5 years. I mean, 5 years I'll be 27. Shit.
That's not old.
Alright, 5 years. Hopefully, by the grace of God, I'm still healthy, still going strong. Hopefully I got a world title, a couple. I'm not just looking for one, because I want to be a legend in boxing. And at the end of the day, you know, just me doing good for myself and my family, but of course just for the, you know, being a great role model for the kids outside, you know, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of craziness going on in this world. These kids are, you know, looking up to Stevie J's and Ocho Cinco's and, you know what I mean, people that's not even really doing nothing, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you know, I just want to show these kids that there's more out there rather than, you know what I mean, that type of lifestyle.
Okay. So along with talking about your career path and your art, because it is an art form, boxing is, we like to talk about fashion. And are you into fashion?
Shit.
Especially since you're, you know, in the limelight a lot.
Yeah.
Are you into fashion? Like, do you have any favorite brands, designers?
My favorite brand is Nike. I just do it. And of course, Jordan.
So what's your favorite?
You try to get that deal. It's coming, boy.
You stupid. My favorite brands, I mean, I'm just a fashion guy overall. You know what I mean? And I'm just always up to date on what's going on. So, I mean, Jordans is my thing. Of course, I mean, different type of shoes too. I mean, you know, they always got the KDs and LeBrons and stuff like that. But then there's high-end fashion, like, you know, Mason Margiela's, Balenciaga's, and Noir fashion. I mean, they do crazy leather sweats and stuff like that, leather apparel.
Okay, so you're into all that.
Persevere, PRSVR, all that other stuff. That's what's in right now too. So, I mean, I'm into all that. Just Don. I mean, shout out to Don C. That's the dude right there. He's doing his thing, like a couple of the pictures.
So what about music? What type of music?
Music. Ah, man. I mean, I like rap, of course, but I'm more of an R&B type of guy. I mean, because
Who's your favorite R&B singer?
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I've been a MarcusBrowne fan since the first album.
You like Chris Brown?
That's my dude. I was bumping that first album when I lived in Far Rock.
You heard he's trying to retire, right?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, he made good money for himself, and I mean, the being in the limelight, I mean, it's a gift and a curse. It's a double-edged sword. A lot of people don't notice. A lot of people don't know that, and especially people that haven't been there, that haven't experienced that. It's a double-edged sword, you know what I mean? And sometimes it may be a little bit too much for some people. So if music is what he loves, he's not gonna stop doing music. If you think that Chris Brown just gonna be like, oh, I'm done. Nah, but I mean, at the end of the day, he just probably want to remove himself from the limelight a little bit. You know, live his life, get himself together, and then, you know, do what he gotta do. But I mean, he's made money, and that's what life is about, right? Making money, making your family happy, doing good for your mom. And then everything else will fall into place. So he did that already, and now it's just maybe you want to do something else with his life.
Okay. So when you get to that point where boxing is something you feel like you're gonna take a break from, would you see yourself? Maybe not taking a break, but let's say, you know, everybody gets old, like, especially as an athlete.
I mean, and boxing is a window, and you got to know when your window is closing. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I mean, when my window's closing, hopefully the people around me is gonna be like, yo, Mom, you're not looking the same, you're not doing it right. You're not doing the right things, you're making a lot of mistakes in the ring and all that stuff. I mean, during actually, I mean, I want to do a lot of things during boxing. While I'm in the limelight, while I'm, you know what I mean, still relevant, I want to dibble and dabble into a lot of things. But first and foremost, the main goal is to get a world title. But after that, I mean, of course there's acting, of course there's modeling. I mean, I work out, keep my body in shape, so I mean, why not, you know what I mean, get paid for showing it off, whatever the case may be. But besides that, I mean, I'm not really into that. And real estate.
Real estate?
Yeah, I gotta get into real estate. That's what I'm at.
So you think you could see yourself up on the big screen in movies, like
I mean,
doing Denzel type work?
man, I auditioned in front of Spike Lee like a year and a half ago, and that was like the hardest thing to do. But I mean,
What type of role was it?
it was a role for a pilot that they did for Mike Tyson on HBO. It didn't formulate, but I mean, I got called back 3 times, so I mean.
That's good. Callbacks are good.
Callbacks are good, and then being able to audition in front of Spike Lee himself, I mean, another Jordan guy. Yeah, that was amazing, but yeah, I can see myself doing those things.
So which boxers inspire you?
Boxes that inspire me and I'm patenting my style from. A lot of lefties, like coming up in New York, my first real boxing match that I saw that I really paid attention to was Zab Judah versus Corey Spinks. You know, Zab was always a lefty, you know, fast, a little bit of power, you know what I mean? So, of course, Zab Judah. And then they got guys like Roy Jones Jr., he was the man. Speed, power, reflexes like a mug. Who else? I mean, that's basically it. I mean, like, there's a couple of guys, but I mean, I look at every great boxer that I feel is great, and I take like one little thing that they do perfect and like integrate it into my style, and that's what made me who I am as a fighter.
So how would you say you mentally prepare before a fight?
Mentally preparing for a fight, I mean, as long as you being faithful to the sport and doing what you gotta do, you're gonna be mentally prepared. Because I mean, with boxing, you can't drink, you can't smoke, you can't have sex for a little while. So I mean, all that builds frustration among you working out and all that stuff. So I mean, you're gonna be mentally prepared going into that ring. You're gonna be an animal, you know what I mean? At the end of the day. But that's how I'm mentally prepared. I basically, just keep my family around me. Try to have fun during camp and stuff like that. Like yesterday, me and my boys went out, we went go-karting and stuff like that. Just do normal things to get your mind off of just fighting and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, fighting is what I do. I know how to do that with my eyes closed, basically. So I mean, it's just about having fun and just making yourself feel like a regular human being, because you do sacrifice a lot with boxing.
Okay. And I know you haven't lost in your pro career, but I know you've taken a loss a couple times before then. So how do you come back from a loss?
In my amateur career, I was like, my amateur career was 102 and 102 wins, like 47 knockouts, and like seven losses. I know I got 7 losses for a fact in the amateurs. And I wasn't really accustomed to losing in the amateurs, but when I lost, it hurt. And to come back from that, like I said before, previously, all of the hype and leading up into things, and then you lose.
Yeah.
It hurts, but then you know who your real friends are, because your phone stopped ringing as much as it used to when you was just a winner, and just those people that's there to console you and just tell you that everything's gonna be alright, you can get past this. That's how you know who your real friends are. So I mean, I appreciate those losses, because now I know who my real friends are. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Exactly.
So your next fight is coming up soon.
Yep, August 19th at the Best Spot Theater on Fox Sports 1.
Okay, and who are you fighting?
I'm not even sure yet.
You don't know these things like
You
way ahead of time?
you do, but then sometimes you don't, because a lot of people don't. I mean, me coming up as an Olympian, is it gonna be a little bit harder and a little bit rougher to move me, rather than any other regular average Joe that just turned pro, because it's now they see that I'm an Olympian, I'm 5-0 with 5 knockouts. They probably want more money, and it's hard because it's like these dudes want like a whole bunch of money, and they know they're gonna get their ass whooped. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right then. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for speaking with me on Foxbury Street.
Big shout out to Staten Island. Big shout out to my man Flop. Big shout out to everybody who's doing their thing on Staten Island. Flatsbury Street is the movement. Park Hill, Staten Island, stand up.